How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to do one of the contests on Zimnagors called Pier Delivery. I was in the middle of doing a review for the Don 71, and there's a few things went wrong. I'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, the Pier Delivery one is down in like the bottom left-hand corner. There's two main ways you can get there, really. You can go along that trollish, muddy path like towards where you get the TUZ 420 and cut down. Personally, I went this way, kind of follow the road all the way along. The bridge is out there, so you have to kind of turn up here. But I sort of jumped off the cliffs there. It's not as bad as it looks on the map. You'll see in a minute, so you won't have to take my word for it. Yeah, I sort of cut down there, over that bridge, cut through, it's just sort of patches of abandoned warehouses and stuff, really. Down here, and yeah, there's both contests, or 2 of 4 on this map, down in the bottom corner at the sawmill. When I was on the way back, I got the contest mixed up, so I almost went to deliver it to that warehouse, but I just cut through it, over the bridge, down to the bottom, and yeah, it's to one of the piers that I believe we had to repair in a mission. I believe it was like a contract. Yeah, I do quite like these contests though, for a couple of reasons to be honest. One, they're repeatable, which is very nice because it means you can try them on multiple trucks and so on. And I also like the fact that they're against the clock, because it kind of gives you something to aim for, and it kind of like, if you're going to repeat it on some of the contests, I admit this is not really the best contest to repeat for multiple reasons. It's not got very much money on the payout. It's not bad for how long it takes to do the mission, but to get to the mission to do it repeatably, you've got to keep driving back there basically. So yeah, long term, like repeatability, it's not the best one, but yeah, just when I was doing that one in Drowned Lands, the container contest, I kind of zoned out and was just focused on trying to beat my like my fastest times, and before you know it, you've racked up another 50 to 100 grand. And I know doing like the engine bug thing has obviously made money a little bit more irrelevant at the minute, but some people probably don't want to try that, others might not know about it or whatever. I still, like, by now, I'm quite glad there is a way to just duplicate some money, but all the way through the game, like, I knew within days, really, people were making YouTube videos about duplicating vehicles online, and for me, personally, I didn't want to do it back then, because I wanted to grind the game properly, but yeah, by now, I've done bloody hundreds of contests, and it's like, there's only so long, as I've said before, that this game, the same with any game, won't be boring, and the more time I spend repeating the same contest over and over just for money, by that point I'm not really that bothered about beating my fastest time, etc. It's just a means to an end to buy another truck. It's yeah, it's quite nice to just cheat basically, and yeah, get that done pretty quick. So this is where I had to turn off because that bridge is out, and as you can see, like, I was eyeballing it. On the map it looks like they're proper rock cliffs and you're not really got much chance, but you can see there's a little gap here, and I went for it. You see a gap, you take it. That's what she said. Yeah, it's pretty happy with my choices about now. That went about as smoothly as can be expected. And then now, to be fair, you see these roots going across the road. I keep getting caught on these roots every now and then. Recently, I think it's just more unluckiness. I think I got caught on some on Rift as well. Yeah, hopefully, it seems, the guy in charge of rocks and bloody tree stumps, I don't know, he only had a half day when he was adding roots, because they are a pain in the arse. The Dolphin did get slightly caught up on them, but fortunately, they're not everywhere, so I can kind of live with them. That's the main thing with the bloody tree stumps, is there's no way to beat them as such. There's no clever play or whatever. There's no skill involved to work around them. It's just they're buried in the grass every now and then. You're driving along and suddenly you just snap your neck and just about headbutt the dashboard, and it's like, what the hell? And then yeah, and sometimes once it's gone under your chassis, to be fair, the Dolphin is not a good one. Once you drive over tree stumps, the kind of underplate of it bumps over so far and then it gets caught in your axles, and yeah, they're just a gigantic pain in the arse for no reason. Like I said, if I had a means to remove them, like in real life, if getting stuck on tree stumps was an issue, I'd take a chainsaw with me, and they just soon wouldn't be an issue. I was watching a video earlier on YouTube, and it's I had a kind of idea I'd like to see in the game that I think would be pretty cool. It was like a howitzer cannon thing on the back of like an off-road vehicle, a little bit like this. I believe it had 6 wheels though instead. It probably actually looked a little bit like the Cat, but not articulated. Anyway, it was just a big lorry with a gigantic gun on the back, and I thought, I know it's theoretically off subject to this game, but it kind of isn't. Like, imagine if you had, whether it was the Amandra map or whatever, if you had to go and get a truck that had like here, a gigantic artillery piece on the back of it, drive it to somewhere, yeah, Amanda as an example with snow, and fire it into the mountains and like knock an avalanche down before it gets too crazy, and then even better, give us some kind of bulldozer, so then we can go and clear the snow that kind of overwashes onto the road. Just something like that. I thought it'd be pretty cool when I was watching this gun firing. Like, yep, that's what I need, one of them. That's the thing with this game, though. It's a very good, like, they've made a very good sandbox, like a terrain sandbox, physics sandbox, whatever you want to call it. So when I say, oh, I wish they'd have this or I wish they'd do that, it's like, I'm not complaining about this game. It's a great game, but it's almost a victim of its own greatness in the sense... I could say the same with Grand Theft Auto 5. There's loads of stuff I wish they'd add, which I know they did add some in online, but for me personally, I'm not that keen on online on Grand Theft Auto. I went on it, well, do you know what? About probably a few weeks before this game came out, I went on Grand Theft Auto Online for the first time, really, since the game first came out. Me and my brother went on it very briefly, and it was very glitchy and awkward, and we just left. Yeah, I went on Grand Theft Auto Online. I went into the casino because apparently I got a free spin to win a supercar and I didn't win it. As soon as I walked out of the casino, some random guy was just pulling up and he shot me for no apparent reason and then went into the casino, and I genuinely waited outside the casino round the corner of the wall for 40-50 minutes, and the second that motherfucker come out, I shot him, stole his car and burnt off. And then, yeah, for the next half an hour on the map, I could just see this dot chasing me, and to be fair, one, I'd stolen his car, which was pretty handy, but all I used to do, or not all I used to do, but what I used to do a hell of a lot on Grand Theft Auto was just go absolutely flat out doing laps of the map, trying to lap it as quick as I could, so this guy couldn't catch me for about half an hour. It was, to be fair, pretty funny. There was a certain buzz to the aspect of him trying to get me back, but yeah, after about half an hour driving around, he eventually quit. And that was it, and then I quit because I was like, fuck it. I'm cashing out while I'm actually ahead. I managed to exact revenge on someone, and that's it. I've never been on since. Whoever that guy was, he will never, ever, ever get a chance to get me back. I've officially won. And in all likelihood, I will never, ever go on Grand Theft Auto Online again. Just to make sure it doesn't ever happen. But yeah, that's like I said, there's loads of things that you could add to Grand Theft Auto that aren't even strictly in the vein of Grand Theft Auto, but it's because it's such a good base playground to like mess around in. There's loads of stuff you could do, and it's kind of the same, yeah, with this game. I mean, this game's got one thing that's cooler than 99.9% of games, and that's like terrain deformation and stuff, which for years and years I've always played games and thought, oh, it'd be cool if, yeah, you know, the mud actually squidged as you drove over it and stuff. So yeah, like I said, it's not a criticism of the game, but it's just, I will say one criticism though, I think slightly, of like the devs, is considering this great game they've made, like this base concept, they're not maximising its potential as much as they could be doing, if that makes sense. Like I said, with things adding not just rally cars, but even just like, I don't know, more, you know, like Paris-Dakar or whatever they bloody call it. Like, you got Kamaz trucks that are all done up, purpose-built for going off-roading and smashing the terrain. And that's one reason today I brought a Dolphin out, because it's one of the few trucks that's pretty goddamn solid on this game. I actually tried another mission on this map earlier, and is it the cement delivery one? And you don't have to drive very far at all from the garage, and there's 4 pieces of cement in the like a boggy swamp. And as I was flicking through that, it's kind of like, it was a bit of an awkward one, that, because a lot of the trucks just got bogged down in the swamp, especially because you have to pick these things up on a crane, like the cement. You have to sit there with your truck and then you just sink into the mud. So yeah, and it kind of highlights, like, there's not that many trucks that are a serious beast in this game, really, and this is definitely up there as one of them, I think. Although I did hear good news, obviously they're adding like a big dumper truck and a forklift truck in Phase 2. They did say they're adding a Russian truck, but it's not really been named or anything yet. Somebody was saying, and I appreciate it, that it's apparently like a 8x8 Russian truck, so it's going to be similar-ish to this Dolphin within reason, which is pretty good. That's more the sort of stuff I want. Like, the Warthog and Taz are cool, they're fun for flying down the runway and all sorts, but they're not very serious, like, mission crunching, map eating trucks, really. Yeah, I got the mission done, got paid. 2 minutes 37. I got distracted, seen a little baby container. Don't think I've ever seen one of them in real life. Well, that's pretty cool. Tried to ram it, as you do. tiniest little tap, and nearly deleted my entire suspension. That's one thing I do like about the Dolphin. This is just pure messing around now. It's a few minutes, you can see inside the mind of Mr. Lone Wolf when I'm not making any videos. To be honest, what I was trying to do, I was trying to see how far I could reverse before it actually starts tipping my weight down. And then, yeah, I kind of got stuck on this pier thing. Like notch or whatever. What do they tie the ship to? But you'll see why I left this in. This is the results of the loaf-trained Dolphin. It's goddamn professional as well. Yeah, reversed off here. I was going to try and drive back up, and then I left it in reverse. Reversed off here. I was like, oh, god damn it. And now I was pretty much about to detach the trailer and just recover. And I was like, hang on a minute. I think I've actually got some traction. Is it possible? Didn't even start drowning there. Snorkel was in like the perfect place. I've got a blown tyre, so things are not looking good. It gets pretty deep away from the pier, but there is apparently terrain underneath me, and we're going. Right now I was like, oh yes. See, these are the kind of trucks I enjoy. Like conquering parts of the map that you really wouldn't expect and possibly shouldn't, but who cares? It's enjoyable. I was having a lot more fun driving the Dolphin out of here than, yeah, just getting stuck detaching the trailer and recovering to the garage. Of course, goddamn stone has to sit there to ruin it, but I wasn't bothered about that. Because it's such a steep hill as I'm trying to turn out, it was kind of understeering essentially. It was like skidding across, not keeping the turning circle as tight as it could have been, but we're all good. Can't keep a good Dolphin down. We're going. But again though, you can see how well it's kind of like beating the terrain, and that's just what I enjoy about this one. So I'm quite looking forward to this Russian truck they're adding, because that dump truck does look pretty cool, but it's probably going to be not necessarily a gimmick, but if it's a massive monster truck and all the rest of it, it's like, yeah, you're not just going to be flying down lanes like this. The forklift is obviously a forklift, it's probably going to be pretty slow and everything anyway. So yeah, I'm hoping this 8x8 they're adding though, fingers crossed it's got the high range and the off-road gearbox. See, got caught on the barrier, turned and we're off it, hit a big rock, we jump over it, and we're good to go. And I just like, yeah, that my gameplay keeps flowing and going. And just to mention as well, I haven't really mentioned much about this Pier delivery mission. It was going on in the background while I was rambling. Yeah, there's a trader store pretty near to where you drop the wood, was it? Yeah, wooden planks off, so at least that's not too bad. But then I'd still have to drive back over to the sawmill to grab 4 more planks to do it again. So even though I did this mission in like 2:37, you're probably talking, yeah, 4 or 5 minutes. And I think it was about 3 grand, so it's not really worth it. That cement delivery was 6 grand, and I was doing that about every 4 minutes is reasonable, so that actually wasn't that bad. 4 minutes though, like, if you don't get stuck, you might have to reset the map fairly often, because when you drive through that swamp, you kind of chew it all up a bit. And yeah, that was about me done for today. That was as far as this mission goes anyway. And yeah, I just went and found the remnants of communism, thought I'd check it out. But yeah, tomorrow, I'm pretty certain I'll have the review on the Don 71. Like I say, I was trying tonight, but the footage glitched. I also couldn't save a big chunk of footage. The Don was also a little bit slower than I anticipated, and yeah, it was just altogether, I didn't want to rush the editing in the end, so I abandoned mission, and I went and did some other things. Of course, get yourself a goddamn horse of a vehicle. See, look at the way it just jumps and motors around. That's the thing with the Loaf. The Loaf is fun. That's the thing the Loaf does very well. Even here I thought, oh, I was going to get stuck. Flung out a winch, but it's already driving out by itself. I genuinely don't think that winch did anything. I don't think it had time to. So, yeah, get yourself a horse of a vehicle. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back soon. See, even through there, just skips along and we're off past the predator tree. Hear a cow moo in amazement.